Okay, there's 3 diodes on this project. There's one that's kind of an oddball one, and then there's 2 identical ones, which is super easy to see because there's 3 types. There's 2 types. There's 2 identical ones. Then there's this one. Now these are directional, and they are nomenclated on the board with the little stripy things. So I tried to already pre-bend these wires so that it would go in there. Let's see if it goes in there. Yeah, didn't bend it enough, but I can fix that. I can just kind of pull it through a little bit, hopefully without breaking the... Actually, I'm going to pull that back out and re-bend this. I do not want this part to break, so I'm going to bend it a little closer to the body of the diode. Make it a little easier to get into that hole. But again, these are directional, and they, again, as I said, there's a little stripe there, and also on the, I guess, the positive end on these, there's a square pad versus a round pad, which is also helpful. So let's see if I can get this thing in here a little bit better this time. Well, it's still a little bit dicey, so let me see if I can kind of coax this in there a little bit. Better. I just don't want to break the body of this thing, pulling on it too hard. Alright, so there. That's that one. I'll get that soldered off real quick. Alright, so there's that end. Alright, now these other 2, like I said, are identical, except they're well, they're different than that one, but the same value, and they go in there. So I'm going to put one in one way and one in the other. These are a lot smaller, so I don't have to worry about the body of it getting too close to the pads so much. Try to keep my fat hands out of the way, but it's to no avail. Okay, so this one goes in that way, stripe up, and get that. And the other one, which is actually the last one, there's only 3 of this and 3 of these in this project, so I don't have to worry about it too much. Get the legs pre-bent a little. Oh, I bent that one too close. And then again, the little stripe is also striped. There's a little stripe on the board here, as you can see, and a square pad. So it's a double warning. Do it this way or else, because these things will burn. There's nothing like a diode burning smell. Ugh, it's horrible. Commonly known as factory smoke. That is what people would refer to factory smoke, is usually because the diodes are burning. Anyway, those are the diodes. Okay, so on to the other thing here, which is the these are the electrolytics. So the electrolytics are directional. They have a negative marking, and also the positive lead is longer. So the positive leads, these are 2 100. We go to the C15 and 16, which are these 2 spots here. So the positive lead is going to go into the square hole on both of these. So when you get them in there, let's see, get this other one out of here. Nasty. Anyway, they're going to be the same direction, which is easy enough. They both go in like that, and then you want them kind of standing them up. So kind of get them over here. Kind of pull these leads a little bit, so they kind of stand up a little bit. And then also I kind of usually set them down on the bench. I'm soldering them, hold them down for a minute. It's hard to see this, I know. This fucking camera. Anyway, I don't have the ideal YouTube camera set up like, you know, like some professional guy would have, but whatever. Oops, too much. Let that off there. This one here. A little bit of solder. Make sure it's down flush. And do this one. There you go. And a little solder. And there we go. So, yeah, those turned out nice and flat. I like them flat. So the square pins, which are these here on the top, the round pins here. The square pin, you can see the leads are the long ones, which are the positive leads. So there you go. There's that. Now I've got two more of those to install, and they go into this location here. I've got two different types. I have a 22F, which is this little guy here. It's very hard to see that, I know. I'm sure it's kind of hard. And that one goes into C3. So C3 is, let's see, C3 is that one right there. So take the long lead again, put it in the positive hole. Kind of get that, yeah, so hold in there. So by process of elimination, this should be the 3.3U. And let's see, and that's what it is. So again, the positive lead, the long one, goes into the square hole there. It's also marked positive on there, but I just can't read it. I have to get it under the magnifier to see that. Get those pins kind of out so they hold it in there a little bit. And we'll just solder those bad boys in there. Alright, grab some solder. These are the only, these and the diodes are the parts that are really, really important. Well, and the IC socket is too. It's important to get in there right. But the caps, they just, they don't have much. There's no, if you put a cap in backwards, it's just going to go pop. And that's going to be the end of that cap. And then you're going to have to get on Amazon or Kurt Ballou's website and try to buy some new ones. Alright, so there are the four electrolytics. And again, if you look at this, the long leads here are in the square holes. And then the short leads, which is the negative side of the cap, goes in the round holes. Same with these here. So anyway, there you go. I might as well just come out and say I did not really listen to the instructions very well. If I had, these two pieces would already be in there. But I already kind of knew what the deal was with these. I've done a zillion IC sockets in my life, so that's how they kind of look. These are also directional. There's a little, let's see, where's my pointer? There's a little nub in here. There's a little nub in there. So they basically see how hard these are going to get in since I didn't follow the instructions. It might be harder than I thought. Nope, they go right in. Alright, so these are actually super easy. These kind of hold themselves in there, which is kind of cool. They have these little ridges here. Alright, so get that one in there. Get that in the holes there. And when I do, when Ty comes over, I'll actually have the freaking procedure out, the manuals out. So anyway, I'll just solder those up real quick. And then I guess we're going to start moving on to the more mechanical parts of it. circuit board, for all intents and purposes, is done at this point, except for, you know, adding the potentiometers and the pots and things like that, which are kind of final assembly, as it were. Kind of get that one to come out on me. These are very nice of them to give us sockets for the ICs, and the reason that that's nice is because if the sockets go, if the ICs go bad, or apparently there's options or something you can put in here that you want to change options out. You can change the integrated circuit out on these. Just like popping the chip in and out. It's kind of cool. So I wish more people would socket their ICs, especially those surface mount ones. Ugh, those are a nightmare. Of course, these aren't surface mount. These are a whole different animal. Much more better behaved. Those are my favorite words. More better. It's not rocket science, but it does save money when you surface mount stuff, and it's easier to solder flow, and I guess. But I stopped pretty much desoldering circuit boards when surface mount came along, because they, along with surface mount technology, which is good. I mean, it's a good technology. It's advanced things significantly, but along with that, you had to have special tools to get them out, because they're not points like this. They're long things, and takes more heat. And anyway, so there is the completed Kurt Ballou. Well, it's completed in terms of it's populated with all the components, except for the ICs. I'll plug those in later after I'm done messing with it. The rest of it's going to start on this thing here. Start going through the. I'm actually going to take some advice and actually go through their process for the next parts of this. So I guess I'm done with this checklist.